Those of you who have been enjoying my recent derailed fantasy adventures, thanks for that. I really enjoy making those, and I'm happy to keep making them for you. I enjoy that they are just pure creativity. I don't have to worry about the rule system or whatever role-playing games you care to use to play those adventures with your friends. And just might be watching them as entertainment in and of themselves, and that's just fine with me. I also don't have to worry about whatever world setting or lore may be specific to those games. You can take any part of the story, drop it into any fantasy game, change it around, or change it completely. As I've always said, it's your game, your rules, your friends. You know better than anyone what they like, what you like. I'm just happy to provide something that can spark the imagination, and if I'm honest, I hope I'm providing some small guidance to those who may be less confident about their storytelling or their pacing of a game. A lot of sources will give a lot of advice, but seldom do I see them give actual examples of what to say, how long to say it, and how long a part of the adventure should really be taking to get completed in a comfortable fashion by your friends and you hanging out online or in person. Man, I miss playing games in person, I really do. Anyway, to those of you who noticed the timestamp in the description text of the video, you'll need to start paying attention down there from now on, because I'm going to add cool random roll tables and all sorts of excellent shit in there just because I can, and that will be, well, it'll add to the fun of the adventures. For example, a random table of magical effects from the bubbery berries from the Evil in the Ironwoods adventure. That would be fun and help explain what happens when someone eats a handful of the fruit all in one go. The most hilarious thing you roll on the table happens, of course, and if they combine in some way to be even more hilarious, such as farting a cloud of glitter that forces everyone to speak with a bad French accent for no reason, then that is what they do. I mean no offense to the good people of Quebec when I say that, by the way. To those of you who clicked on the timestamp, this is where the video starts, so here's the subject for today. In the adventure video called Blades of the Blood Beast, I mentioned the Gut Gobbler monster. I mentioned there is a mated pair of them. They have laid an egg sac, and they have eaten all the goblins from an ancient dwarven tunnel going from one side of the mountain to the other. Here is the rest of the lore for the Gut Gobbler, and some general tips, plus a little preview of one of the coolest RPG books to recently get published by Free League Publishing. Stay tuned until the end of the video for a sneak peek at some actual pages from the Lord of the Rings role-playing book and how to make a nameless thing, which is well worth it, trust me. So, there are wizards, alchemists, artificers, techno-wizards, ethersmiths, warlocks, diabolists, sorcerers, warp scholars, whatever you want to call them. The people who love rare and dangerous books, fling spells, and fancy wearing robes with a lot of exotic decorations. You tend to get magic pollution, a bit of arcane disruption, some warp corruption going on. Magic potions, magic item creation, and even a lot of spells will result in some long-term mystical pollution. It stands to reason. These effects we see mages use in combat are very reckless when you consider how long crafting a magic item takes. So I pose the question, what happens with all this magic residue? While in my games, witchfinders are nothing like the Earth history witchfinders of the 16th century and other eras. They normally pop up after random and unexplained misfortunes befall the society, such as plagues and so on, as people seeking out some source of a tangible evil that they can exact their revenge on. This behaviour is universal among human cultures, so it probably is on fantasy worlds as well if you want to depict humans accurately. Not their best look, but it is what it is. No, in fantasy games, I like to have special branches of the wizarding and druidic societies that are trained in and dedicated to the art of detecting, tracking down and eliminating the source of arcane corruption. This is the role of the abjurationist wizards, hands down the most awesome wizard subtype I bring to the game myself. I mean, if you've ever seen the actor James Woods play the role of a vampire-killing Catholic priest, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or Keanu Reeves playing John Constantine is another great example. They know full well what goes thump in the night, and they have a bag full of weapons and tools that they will deploy to thump that gibbering horror right back where it came from, then incinerate the location to make sure it doesn't come back. Clerics are suitable for this role. Druids, and you could argue, are almost driven to combat arcane corruption of the natural world. It's what they are all about, really. So, what's the wizard going to do? Can't go about this risky magic item business out in the open. You don't want to go pouring your failed attempts down your own privy or the well you drink from. So you go find some remote underground location, an abandoned shrine, a ruin, an old dungeon, some deep caves, You clear out whatever's lurking in there, you find a spot to dump your toxic waste, job done, back to the lab. Maybe spread some rumours that horrid curses will inflict any who go there, and why bother? The place was plundered of all valuables long ago. No problem. Sleep soundly. Yes, but water, chemicals, and evil tend to settle into the deepest and darkest places of the world, and fantasy worlds very much so. And things live down there, such as goblins, who do drink water, and not just fermented rat piss, as many would believe. I mean, they do, but that's another matter. Getting rats to eat weird fungus is a good survival tactic. If the rats go into a little crazy spell, well, one thing leads to another, and goblins have very, very hardy digestive systems and rock-solid livers. No amount of hardy biology is going to avoid toxic effects from magic pollution, though, and so they drink the tainted waters that trickle down from above. They get a little bit weirder, a little bit more chaotic and crazy. Some weaken and die, others get diseases and mutations. Others, though, they get bigger, meaner, and very, very hungry. First, they might be some of the best hunters and warriors in the goblin tribe. Some might seek to lead the tribe, being brutal and war-loving tyrants. Some become much more isolated, unwilling to share any food, getting less and less fussy about what sort of creatures they will hunt and eat, less and less intelligent, more and more driven by the killing instinct, until one day, they're eating every living thing, including other goblins. They're driven from the tribe. They might flee the area, who knows? Perhaps this happens more often than folks think. Goblins could deal with this sort of mutation all the time. The isolated mutants feed on all sorts of vile crap in the deep realms. They grow to a truly monstrous size. Perhaps they get large enough and feral enough to actually hunt and eat cave trolls. They start to look much less like goblins. Their ears and noses get badly damaged in fights with their prey. They scar over, their limbs change, they get massive and very strong. Their jaws increase in size, their internal organs change, and eventually you have the creatures I called the Gut Gobblers in the adventure video. They're so far removed from goblins now that they are a different species. They don't reproduce the same way. Their body seems to reject their own offspring and ejects the whole placenta like a leathery egg. They still have some primal nesting instinct, but it's just as disgusting and twisted as the rest of them. So they float the egg sac in a pool of their own urine, marking the territory near it with heaped piles of their own solid waste and decorating their squalid lair with the skulls and bones of their prey. They know goblins the best, of course, so they hunt them wherever they can find them. Any creature is food, though, unless they are mating with it. Eventually, perhaps their offspring survives, hatching a more horrific creature, one of the nameless terrors of the deep. And here we come to the fun review of the section of the Lord of the Rings RPG from Free League Publishing, linked to their website in the description below. They have been kind enough to send me a review copy of the gorgeous book, which I'm most impressed with. Those of you who remember the Warlord character class from 4th edition D&D fondly will love one of the playable classes in the game. But right now, let's take a look at this section on how to create a nameless thing using the random roll tables in the Lord of the Rings. I'll just put a couple of the pages here so you can see how the random roll tables are presented, and you can see that these lore details and descriptions are designed to be added onto a base statistic block, which is a great way to handle a big gnarly monster, because when the players encounter a nameless thing and you start rolling on the charts to find out what it is, they get spooked, because even the dungeon master doesn't know what the hell it is. It's just a big, horrible, and it's going to chew their asses unless they can get clever and tactical pretty much immediately. It fits the Lord of the Rings vibe perfectly, and the art in this book is great. Mostly gorgeous sketchwork like this. Again, perfect vibe for the Lord of the Rings. Okay, that's all I've got for you now. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and as always, I'll be back with more for you very soon. Let me know if you like this sort of video and you want me to go into more detail on the lore of the creatures that I put into the Derailed Fantasy Adventures, and I'll be most happy to expand on that for you. And do try and check out some of my other content. I know most of you are here for the fantasy stuff, but I do some pretty good sci-fi too. Thanks for listening. Catch you later.